Hello, friends. Welcome back to the RelloSocial podcast. I am your host, Cindy. So, you started your business, you started where you are, you listened to some of the episodes we've shared with business owners and the ones I've shared with you personally. Today, I'm going to talk about something that we all deal with at whatever level of our business that we are. Even if you're just starting, even if you've been doing it for a while, and it's quite interesting because you find business owners that still practice and still try to improve on these things. So stay tuned. Today we're going to be talking about fear and how that influences prices. So whether you're a product business or a service provider, this episode is for you. Let's talk. I feel the best intro for this episode would have been let's talk about money, pricing, because money is a huge factor when it comes to businesses, when it comes to our lives, basically. And a lot of business owners, even me coming from the angle of a freelancer and now having a side business, let me put it that way, money, money has an energy around it. Money is energy, yeah. But I think that we all come from our own places, especially our environment where we grew up from, that makes money, that topic about money, finance, it really a little bit uncomfortable to talk about. This is why you find maybe freelancers or business owners still struggling to state their pricing, to be confident with how much they price their businesses, their services, or their products rather. Even negotiating during maybe a service, freelance service, or a job you're trying to land, money can be uncomfortable to talk about for a lot of people. A lot of people that, like me, that maybe then that haven't gotten comfortable with money. And the thing is, you have to get comfortable talking about money, talking about finances, because we live in a world where you're always spending money. I mean, you're spending other things, you're spending time, but we have to pay bills, we have to buy raw materials, we have to buy products. Anyway, money. So I think what even inspired me to really, what I want to talk about this episode is starting my side home baking business. Yeah. I love to bake, and I decided to start doing it again. Good luck to me. So it was after making, so people have gotten for me, yeah, even before I said, you know what, I want to do this business, like I'm going full on because I've been thinking about it, it's been lingering, let me just do it. Is I felt a little bit of, should I say, struggle or fear about my prices. And I'm going to state what makes it, or what you do to make it a little comfortable with when you're stating your prices. But I just said my prices, yeah. And some people had asked me a few questions that made me feel a little uncomfortable. Let me put it that way. So that made me feel doubt when I set my prices initially. But I sat down and I started, because okay, I had gone to buy my baking stuff, some things that I actually needed for an urgent order. So with that, I started asking them questions: how much does this cost, and all of that. Then I went back to look at my recipe, and you know what? When I was on, I'm like, I sat down with my should I say bestie or assistant, Chat GTP, and we went through that, and I outlined everything I had, like all the research I had done about all the things I needed to make a loaf of banana bread, a certain size, I think the large one. And when I saw the prices, I'm like, but there's nothing. My prices are really okay because this is a big loaf and the things that go into it. Yeah. And then looking at the profit margin, I'm like, you know what? I can even keep this up, even with a little bit of inflation that might come. Yeah. And I'll still not be running at a loss. I'll be able to continue this business. And just doing that made me a little comfortable, yeah, about my prices. And that is the thing about when we're talking about finance. If you grew up around an environment that maybe had certain beliefs or certain thoughts about money in adulthood, even in business, you're going to project that. A lot of people grew up around an environment that said money is the root of all evil. A lot of people grew up around environments that said, "Oh, rich people are evil." If you and you think that maybe you haven't picked up all these subconscious beliefs, but it's there. Yes, it's there. It's there somewhere, waiting till you make your first six figures to come and meet you. And before you know, and thing I've even mentioned before, reading the psychology of money, how it's understanding our beliefs and our behavior, how we act towards money or finances, would actually teach you a lot. Yeah. And when I did that for my own self, I said, you look at maybe people around you, for example, your parents. Your parents are like your first point of almost everything in life. They are the people that at some point in your life you learned from, you looked up to, everything you wanted to do like them. And subconsciously, you pick up their money behaviors. I saw mine in my own ways. And me trying to build wealth now for myself, it's having me, I went back, I started reflecting on everything I was believing, everything that I thought. I started asking myself, why do I think this? Do you get? I mean, I no longer think money is the root of all evil. That has passed, but there are other things under it. Because there are some people who feel at some point I felt that, oh, I was being too greedy charging for this. But then I was suffering when I started freelancing. Yeah, this is where if you're a freelancer, listen to it. This is for you too. When I started freelancing, I was charging way too low and spending too much time doing too much projects. And that's going to drain you. Before you know, I was so burned out. I had to stop working with everybody to recover. I couldn't take it anymore. And that's what happened. We think we are being, I don't know, uh greedy, actually charge. I mean, there are some, you might think there are some maybe prices you might set for your services that might be outrageous, but you had to look at this. You see, going back, like I went back to look at all the things I was getting for a loaf of banana bread and compared. You have to go back and look at, okay, what are you spending every day in your life? How much does it cost you to survive? Food, electricity, your waste bill, all of that. When you go back and look at that, yeah, when you pay, and people have said this before, sometimes because we are, a lot of us, yeah, are not used to the system of budgeting, saving, and it might be maybe because of where you're coming from. I mean, my mom used to tell us, "Oh, save money," but she never really showed us how to do it. But now, you're an adult, you have to learn it on your own. Yeah, and hopefully, when if you decide to have kids, do them a favor to teach them because you have learned it. And I understood that maybe my mom was saying that because she didn't know how to go about that her own self. So as I was saying, is you going back to, take a look at all these beliefs and say, ha, where, like, understanding how does this play out in the life that I'm living currently. Yeah, so doing that even as a freelancer is going to help you when you're setting your prices. How much time are you spending doing a project? How much time do you need to finish this work? And I feel that is what will give us a little bit of confidence. But I also think experience too will give us confidence when we are dealing with this. Yes. Sometimes because you haven't experienced it, you'll be too scared to charge. But by the time you've been broke, yeah, having 10 clients, 10 projects, and then there's zero in your account, you go back and pay attention. I mean, everybody, experience is one of the best teachers. People don't really learn from listening to other people. I mean, they'll pick up some things, but sometimes to actually drive that emotion, because most of the things we do are driven by emotion, is through experience. So, yeah, I come across business owners that charge to, they're too, because I'll talk about some myths that some businesses have, yeah, when it comes to starting a business and their pricing. But I've come across maybe business owners that charge too little. And before they know, they are unable to sustain the business because maybe they are not considering their time, they're not considering how much it takes them to get their raw materials or even the transport, they're not considering it. And before you know, they're unable to sustain the business past a year and you're closing up. You're like, I've done all this, I'm doing all this, but I'm not seeing the income. So my dear fellow business owner, it's time for you to go back to the books. It's time for you to check, you know what parts of my life am I not considering when it comes to my pricing, or what parts of my business am I not considering? Because if you're a business owner that is looking to be sustainable, to grow, to expand, to hire people eventually, you need to check out those things. So now, yeah, let's talk about some of the myths that I have come across working with people about pricing. So some things that I've seen is that a lot of people, because they are new, yeah, they think they need to always give a discount. They think they need to always give be cheaper because they are new. But who said? I mean, when you're buying your raw materials or doing things, do they consider that you're just starting? And I understand that you want to attract people, but let me tell you, there are consequences to always um offering discounts, offering free at first, especially when it's not people that have gotten from you. I've said this before in an episode or some of the videos. The best people to offer your discounts, your loyalty, rewards are customers that have gotten from you. I'm not saying that maybe if you that's not the kind gesture to do to people, but it also reminds me of something that there was a business owner I met. She always complained that people owed her till I looked at the way she pitched to do business with people. And I'm like, that's it. You're asking them to owe you and they are owing you. Yeah. So I'm not saying you shouldn't offer customers freebies or discounts. That should be on your terms, but don't do it as a way to build relationships with customers. No, you can't buy loyalty. Yes, there are certain things that lead to customers or people being loyal to you, being true to your word, being an efficient business owner, being able to deliver when you say you will deliver. There's so many things that can make clients or customers trust you and continue to do business with you. But offering discounts at first, me, I don't know, from what I have seen, those are not really people that will continue. I've seen that before. They never want to pay full price. That's the truth. So, as a business owner, remember you're a human being too. Consider your state of living, consider where you are, consider how much you spend to do the business, and set your prices. Set it, and your customers will come. And that's the thing about fear. Most of these things I'm talking about are rooted in fear. Fear of or living in a place of scarcity, not abundance. So you're living in fear that you're not going to get more customers. You're living in fear that people are not going to buy from you or people are going to think they are too expensive. See, every business has its customers. Not everybody is going to be a customer. I remember starting this home baking business. I know that. And my friend was also reminding me because he has been in that industry for 9 years. I can't wait to interview him for this podcast because I need all his wisdom as well as anybody who will be looking to start a baking business. He was sharing with me some of the mistakes he made, especially around pricing. And he's like, Cindy, see, at some point I was making less than a 10% margin of profit. So that is his lessons that he's sharing with me. So, and like I'm saying, fear is rooted in all these things, and I feel fear is a disconnect between yourself, not being able to trust yourself. So when I was feeling fear about setting my prices, I had to understand that feeling or where that feeling was coming from. And I know that it was because I didn't understand. So I went back to look at my books. I learned how to jot everything I had spent to buy, including the transport I had spent to go to get the things that I needed. And you know what? I'm very comfortable with my prices. That's all I'll say. One thing I'll say is we have to get comfortable talking about money. And I'll say that it could also be your intention. Yeah. Where are you coming from? When you are negotiating maybe price for your products or your services, where are you coming from? Me, I always go back to the place that, you know what, this is the way I take care of myself. If I don't take care of myself, I will not be able to show up 100% to whatever project, whatever job I'm doing. And that's how you're able to be confident in setting boundaries. And confidence doesn't happen just like that, it's practice. You feel fear, you feel your tummy turn, you feel anxious even when you're setting your prices. But you see, you have to. There's something I talked about it before, Psychology of Selling. Read that book. Brian Tracy gave practices that we can use, yeah, when we are going into meetings or conversations like that. And I still do it till today, regardless of how I'm feeling. Am I feeling like my most confident self? And yes, there's a way I say those words, and it influences how I'll behave or act during that conversation. So check your intentions. Is your intention like you would have the intention of taking care of yourself, but bring it to the present moment. I am negotiating, or I am stating what feels good for me to, you know what, function as a business or deliver my best. And this is why people tell you, even Chris Do says it in his podcast, that you don't negotiate yourself down. You don't even have to give, what did he give? You don't even have to explain your pricing to people. You ask them, you want quality work, right? Everybody wants good work, everybody wants quality work, yeah. And you had like, check out these people, they talk more and they explain it in ways that are um understandable and relatable to maybe whatever situation you may be dealing with. I mostly come from, right now I'm coming from the angle of both a freelancer and a business owner. And it's through my experiences and through practicing this that, you know, I'm comfortable with whatever pricing that I've set. And even with my services, because I understand that when I betray myself in those moments, like charging lower or being okay with whatever anybody says my prices should be, or allowing people's comments. Like I said, not everybody's your customer. Yeah, not everybody will buy from you, and you have to be okay with that. This is why when we also do marketing, we tell them you can't sell to everybody. Talk directly to who you're trying to talk to. The banana bread business that I just started, or my home baking business that I just started, it's not for everybody. Definitely. It's for people that like homemade stuff, that are able to pay for what I'm trying to create or what I'm creating. I've gotten reviews from people that like it and enjoy it. And there'll be people that will think no, they don't want it or it's too expensive for them. And that's okay. Yeah. It's just you or me in this instant being more focused on the people I'm trying to connect with. Yes. So there's still a lot of things that fear contributes to, but today I really just wanted to talk about money and reminding you, see, we're closing up 2024, yeah, we're in December already. This is the time you plan how you want to show up in 2025. If you know your pricing has not been the best and it's not been sustaining you as a business owner or freelancer, it's your time to take a step back and review. Like I said, go back, take inventory of your life, your products, your raw materials, how much everything is costing for you to survive, for you to keep doing business, and use that to influence your pricing in 2025. And set your intention. I'm going to repeat that again. Your intention is what will drive you to understand this is the reason why I'm doing this. In 2025, I've gotten more comfortable talking about money, and I'm going to show up that way in 2025 because I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to do things with my life. I'm trying to be a sustainable business owner. Remember, in my intro of the RelloSocial podcast, I talked about how, yeah, my first business was in makeup and I didn't have plans to be sustainable. So, to be sustainable, one of the things, pricing or how much you price your services or your products plays a huge role there. So I'll stop in this episode. I hope maybe I've been able to share something of value to you as a business owner, freelancer, startup founder, whatever it is you're doing, even a 9 to 5 worker, because it's not only entrepreneurs that have a problem discussing money. Even people that work 9 to 5, they have a hard time negotiating their salaries. So I hope you check out these people I talk about. I think Vuzi is one of them. Yeah. Chris Do is one of them. Even people that talk about financial wellness are there. Check them out and listen. Self-confidence cannot be bought, loyalty cannot be bought. It takes practice, it takes setting your intention. So, and I want to say a big thank you. If you've been listening to our previous episodes, I hope to do more. I hope to connect with more business owners and do more videos. Yeah. Have a beautiful day or whatever moment you're listening this to, and share this with anybody that needs to hear this. Thank you for listening. Bye.